Welcome back. We are going to do a review of Private Property. This film is a film that was recently rediscovered after being thought lost after over 50 years. They found it in the UCLA Film and Television Archives, and this film has been 4K scanned and released in a limited to 3,000 units on Blu-ray. I'm assuming that if this sells well, there'll be another release of it sometime down the track. The film originally came out in 1960 and was really pushing the envelope of sexuality and didn't meet the production code of the time, so it couldn't garner itself a wide release. Because of this, it just played art houses for a few weeks. I believe it did a lot better in Europe. That was, obviously a little freer than America. But yeah, it disappeared and never got a revival screening, thought lost. But now here we have it. And this film comes right at the end of film noir. Film noir is pretty much finished in 58, 59. And this has some noirish traits, but it's definitely more of a psychological, sexuality, confusion-based thriller, and a very interesting film. It's only 79 minutes long. It has a very simple premise, but very complex themes. It basically has two drifters who find their way onto a beautiful girl's private property, hence the title, and forge some kind of relationship with her. I'm not going to go into the details and give any spoilers away, but the film starts with a bang and ends with a bang, and in the middle it meanders a little bit, but it's never not interesting. And it's certainly interesting to see a film like this come out in 1960. I'm assuming it was made in either 59 or early 1960 to get a 1960 release. It was written and directed by Leslie Stevens, who would go on to make the Outer Limits TV series. And it stars Kate Manx, who would go on to marry Leslie Stevens. I believe it was shot in her house, and she committed suicide about 9 years after this film. It also stars Warren Oates in his film debut. Of course, he would become a much larger star in the 1970s, but here's his film debut, and he's very good. And who I consider the lead would be Corey Allen, who was the sort of opposing guy to James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause prior to this, and he puts on quite a performance in this. Now, as far as the quality of the film, as I say, it was lost for a lot of years. It was also a film that was shot very much on the cheap. It was very much an independent production. So it was scanned in, and the beginning 5 minutes or so look pretty hazy, but then it clears up considerably, and it looks very good for a low-budget film this old. There's very few speckles or line damage. The aspect ratio for this is a 1.67 to 1, means it has the little black bars down either side, just small ones, so it's semi-widescreen, and which is pretty close to the 1.661 original aspect ratio. It's an English DTS HD Master Audio Mono, and it's got English subtitles, and is region free. Now, special features, it doesn't have as many as I would have liked. I would have liked maybe a featurette talking about the discovery and restoration of the film, but what we do have is better than nothing, that's for sure. We have the restored copy of the original trailer, which is 2 minutes in English, not subtitled, and that's in 1080p, and an interview with Alexander Singer. It's a brand new video interview with him, and he was the still photographer and technical consultant on Private Property, and that's a 18-minute interview, and it's actually very interesting, quite informative stuff. And there is a leaflet, which I'll show you in 1 second, which has some really good information. Some leaflets are kind of fluffy. This one has a lot of good stuff in it. So there we have the cover, and there's the back. It comes with the Blu-ray and DVD, and then behind we have some reverse side work. This pull-out leaflet. Pictures on one side and a lot of information on the other. And it goes through a whole host of things to do with the production of the film, the production code troubles, and what happened to the people involved since. So, pretty interesting stuff. So, Private Property, I got it on a blind buy. Obviously, it hasn't been available and hasn't been screened. And, I wouldn't say I loved the film, but I did like the film and I found it interesting, and I will watch it again. And I think it's definitely worth checking out. It's a beautiful collection. The audio is great, and the video, other than the first 5 minutes or so, looks really good considering its origins. It did have some soft moments, but I think that's inherent to the way it was shot. I think the production is accurate, the reproduction is accurate. So, Private Property from Cinelicious. Go pick it up while it's still available.